Hello, it's me, Daryl, Florida Catholic guy.
Northbound out of the front door, in between the buildings, basically towards the tracks.
Just here smoking my cigar. And might look blue. That's because my screen lights are on blue. I like the ambiance. I don't know if that's the police chopper. There is police activity in the area. Not sure what's going on, but it's in our district. Kind of quiet. Usually you can hear if it's the chopper. I don't hear nothing. I don't know what this is. Anyway, I got something on my phone that's, I don't know, like a focus thing, I guess, but whatever. Anyway, if I can get this thing, if I can find a way to make this comfortable in my hand while smoking my cigar. Actually sounds like a jet overhead, so I don't think it's a chopper. This is the best way to do it for my comfort, but hold on. Alright, there we go. Had to move my ashtray over. But anyway, the big news of the week is another school shooting in Texas. I guess it was 18 or 19 kids that were killed. Just pisses me off that we allow this to happen. And I got my own thoughts on it. A bit conspiracy theory stuff. About, well, the Democrats doing this because it's the only way they can try to get gun control passed. And I wouldn't put it past them. And but assuming that this is what it is, and my theory is just that, just a conspiracy, there is a way to stop this. And it has nothing to do with guns. Well, in a way it does, but we'll get into that. And I'll start off by saying I hate the fact that what I'm advocating is basically turning our schools into prison-style campuses. But if you want to stop this and keep our kids safe, it's the only way that I know of. And first thing to start with is perimeter security. Now, I'll start off by saying I'm not an expert. I've worked security. I've taken some law enforcement courses, but never been. The closest I've been to law enforcement as an auxiliary police officer was basically a glorified, traffic director at accidents and fires and whatever, but we did do some patrolling. Yeah, I've just had the basic concealed carry courses, so nothing in depth. And like I said, just some couple of criminal justice courses here, so nothing in depth with that, but I have worked security for most of my working life, from about right after the September 11th, 2001 attacks. That's pretty much when I started in doing security, and I got done in 2010 was when I stopped working. Been on some call fire departments. That's not really much security in that, but that is public safety and whatever. So I'm not an expert, but I know the basics of security. And the first thing you start with is perimeter security. Is like that in industries and corporate. Any basic security is you start with perimeter security. It makes the most sense. And the basics are a good camera system, controlled access, and that's what you got to start with. Now, I'm sure a lot, if not most schools, already have camera systems in place. So it may be just a matter of updating them, adding on to them. But access control, that's a big thing. So you got perimeter access and you got actual building access. So let's start with the perimeter access. You have to have fences around the school, gates to get in and out of the school. Now, the elementary and middle school, that's like right down there, they already have that in place. They got a fence around the school, and they have gates at all the access points that they close and lock during non-school hours. You go look at the school about 5 or 6 o'clock at night, and the gates are shut and locked. And what you do that at all the schools. That'll require a little money. Then you have a guard at the entrance gate. You have only one entrance gate. You have one entrance gate for entry into the property. The other gates can be unlocked remotely, allowing for emergency access, police, fire, EMS, whatever. But for regular students, staff, you got one entrance in and out. And Obviously, all students and facilities should have, students and faculty should all have ID cards that
It's got to be stocky build with a round fat face.
you show to guard, or you can have a automatic gate that's triggered by your ID. And so that way it's controlled who can come in. And then you have cameras along the perimeter so you can see what's going on. And then once you get, so you're going into the school, again, you have one main entrance in and out. Students, faculty, all use the same entrance. I mean, obviously you need emergency exits throughout the building, but those will be locked on the outside and obviously can be opened from the inside. They're emergency doors. And the main entrance, you have double locked doors. And you enter the outer doors, doors close and lock behind you. You use your access badge or your ID badge, whatever they have, to open the doors. And when the inner doors are open, the outdoor doors are locked. You can't get in. Then once the people go in, and I mean, if you want to speed up the entry during, the first part of the school day and leaving it at night or in the afternoon, you can have a guard checking people's IDs. And you also need metal detectors. And that way there, if somebody's coming in with a gun or a weapon or somebody that's not supposed to be there, the door, they're locked in between the double doors. And you probably need to put bulletproof glass up. But they're locked in the double doors, and you call the police, and of course you need to have cops in every school. A school resource officer. And
Yeah, he said definitely on the track going southbound.
if somebody's visiting, or if a parent or somebody, whatever, is coming in, they can present their credentials through an intercom system or however they want to work it. But you want to deny access to people that don't belong there. That gives you multiple levels. You have the outer perimeter, people driving in, walking in through the gate. And then you have the inner perimeter, people being screened before they actually enter the building. And like I said, you got, and this is something that Sean Hannity mentioned last night, and he's mentioned it before. You got tons of retired military, retired police that, they're not able to, be cops and get in foot pursuits and whatever, but they can still do security work and carry a gun and, be armed guards. So you take these people that volunteer and you give them a break, either no property tax, or you don't have to pay your state income tax. Of course, we don't have income tax here in Florida, so, but we do have property tax, so you could give them a property tax break. And you allow these people to volunteer to be extra layers of security that are armed and that go through special training for these situations. And yeah, you'd have a lot of people that would volunteer for, a couple days a week, a few hours 10 hours a week or whatever, and you'd be able to fill the spots. But something like that, and I don't like that. I mean, I don't like that I'm even suggesting that we turn schools into prisons, but it's the only way to keep kids safe. And yeah, a lot of this would cost money, but if we can give $40 billion a month to Ukraine, it would be a lot less than that to keep our schools safe. Our government is supposed to protect us, not people of Ukraine or any other country. That's the way you protect the children. Restricting people's access to firearms, restricting our Second Amendment rights, isn't going to stop these shootings. It's not. Hey, that's me. The guy they're chasing is large and out of shape. Hope they're not chasing me. But anyway, that's, putting a gun-free zone sign on a school isn't keeping kids safe. You also, if teachers if they want to go through training, if they're qualified, let teachers be armed. Because obviously we can't put a dozen cops in every school. I mean, we just don't have that kind of funding and manpower, but there are things we can do that I just mentioned. That doesn't involve taking our Second Amendment rights away. So that's my way of solving the issue. It's better than anything else I've heard. And if they're serious about stopping this, that's how you do it. It ain't by banning guns. Some idiot celebrity on Twitter was on there today saying, you couldn't do this with a knife. You couldn't kill as many students with a knife. I don't know. It depends. The liberals have taken a lot of cops out of schools. So if you don't have any armed security, somebody can conceivably do that before the cops get there. It takes the cops, if you're in a big city, at least 2 to 3 minutes and that's from when they get the call. So you can stab a lot of people in 2 to 3 minutes. And then they have to get in, they're going to wait for backup. And I mean, this border security guard that killed this criminal that did this is a hero. He went in, didn't wait for backup. He just went in and did what needed to be done. That's the type of people we need, you know. I understand police have to wait for backup and stuff, but when kids are getting killed, you're supposed to be going into the fight. And that's what it sounds like. The other hero is this other cop that got, I don't know if he got killed or shot or what, but he was out, I guess he was outside the school when it happened. So, I mean, that's, sometimes good guys die. And just because you're a good guy with a gun doesn't mean you're going to survive all the time. You know, good guys do get killed by bad guys sometimes. And I think every one of us that carries is aware of that. It's in the back of our minds. We don't dwell on it. I mean, I hope to God I never have to fire my gun in self-defense. But if it comes to me or a loved one or them, I'm going to do it. And so yeah, you know, a sign that says gun-free zone isn't going to do anything. Now a sign that says, and I seen this meme out there today that says, attention, this school is protected by armed staff who will use deadly force if you intend to harm any students or people inside the school. That is more effective than a gun-free zone sign. Because that tells a bad guy that probably not going to come what I wanted to do. I'm not going to do what I came to do. And I'm going to get killed. And if they still want to do it, they're not going to be able to, number one, doing what I suggested, they're not going to make it even into the school grounds. But, you know, I'm hearing all these people, oh, we need an assault weapons ban. First of all, there's no such thing as an assault weapon. A military assault weapon is a fully automatic machine gun. That's what's used in war. They don't use AR-15 semi-automatics in war. If you gave me a semi-automatic AR-15 and told me to go to war, I'd tell you to go do something, because, you know, unless you're a sniper and have a sniper rifle, you know, but that's a totally different thing than a combat soldier. So, banning AR-15s and whatever, AK-47s, that's not going to do anything. Automatic weapons are, well, they're not actually outlawed, but in order to legally get one, you got to pay a federal tax stamp, which means a really thorough background investigation by the FBI, where they come out, they interview your family, your neighbors, people, and, you know, you got to get psych eval and whatever else they make you do. Plus, it's a lot of money just to get the permit, the license. So, they're really rare. So, I mean, there's things you can do which, with the bump stocks and everything on the AR-15s, which are now illegal. Which brings me to the other point. People that are doing this thing don't care about your gun laws. They don't care about your other laws. It's already illegal to kill people. They're going to do it anyway. Even if you banned everybody from having a gun right now, if you just said nobody can own a gun, period, 10 years in prison if you own a gun. First of all, you'd have a war in this country because nobody's going to give up their guns. Second of all, if they did, the only people that would have guns are criminals. And we'd all be sitting ducks. So, that brings me to the asshat former president we had, Barack Obama. He posted a Twitter thing. He said, I don't remember the whole thing. It was like 3-4 posts he made. And he said, remember, this is the 2-year anniversary. As we remember the kids that were killed in the school, this is the 2-year anniversary of George Floyd being killed. And we must remember him and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it was just so out of touch with what's going on. And Obama is an asshole that shouldn't even be allowed on Twitter or any social media. Forget banning Donald Trump, ban that asshole. Obama acted stupidly, as he said about the cops in Massachusetts that ID'd a guy that looked like he was breaking into a house. It turned out to be his house, but he was going in through a window because he locked his keys in the house. So somebody called the cops, so the cops questioned him, and Obama said, oh, the cops acted stupidly. No, you acted stupidly, because you're an asshat, Obama. I can't stand these people. George Floyd, number one, died of a fentanyl overdose. That's something you'll never convince me otherwise. He's also a criminal. He was passing funny money to begin with. That's why the cops were there in the first place. Earlier in his life, he pointed a gun at the stomach of a pregnant woman. So believe me, the country's better off without him around. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. Was it wrong for the cops to put their knee on his neck for whatever? Yeah, probably. I'll give you that. But I'm not going to lose any sleep over George Floyd. And there's certainly absolutely no comparison to what happened to George Floyd and what happened to these innocent children. And for that asshole to make that comparison, I can't deal. I'd need something a lot stronger than a cigar. And, yeah. So, that's my rant about that for today. Of course, the Democrats never let a good crisis go to a waste. And then you have Beto O'Rourke, the moron that's running for governor in Texas. That couldn't even get elected dog catcher, if you ask me. started screaming and yelling at the governor during his press conference. And the sheriff that was there in Texas said that O'Rourke is a, what did he say? I think he said dumb son of a bitch or stupid son of a bitch, something like that. Some kind of son of a bitch. That's accurate. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This world is messed up. Nobody believes in God anymore. That's the first thing wrong with this country. And so-called Catholics like Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi that call themselves Catholic but go against everything the church stands for. And finally, you had a bishop with some cojones that actually banned Pelosi from receiving communion, and she defied him by going. The bishop of San Francisco was the one that banned her. So she went to church in, of course, Washington, D.C., and she was able to receive no problem, which means she should be excommunicated. But you don't have, that has to be done by the cardinal, I believe, and the cardinal in that area is a liberal, as most of them are, and isn't going to do it. So, I'm praying for that meteor of death to hit this planet, because I don't know. There's no hope in this country anymore, because you've kicked Jesus out of public square. Can't pray in school, can't pray anywhere in public. And so you get what we have here. But anyway, I've been getting out a little more. I went for a scooter ride today. Yesterday I went to the mall in Brandon, walked around for a little while. Going to the Rays against Yankees game next Friday. So yeah, pretty soon, forget when, but pretty soon my Kid Rock concert will be coming up. And I just got tickets for Carrie Underwood. That's not until February of next year, though. I spent a little more money on the Rays ticket than I wanted to, but I was able to get tickets right along the first base line. Actually, I think it's more closer to the, would be right field, but it's the first row from the field, so that should be good. So that should be fun. I can't wait for that. Maybe I'll take a video or something. Oh, darn. I wasn't paying attention and my ashes from the cigarette landed on the floor of my screen room. No big deal, I'll just have to sweep it up. And I moved my ashtray over there and missed the ashtray by a couple of inches. Oh well. Actually, this cigar isn't bad. It's one of the old ones I had that I call it cheap ones because, well, they were pretty cheap. I got a few left, and because I'm out of my Ave Marias and I only have one left of my, I forget what they're called, but like $25 a stick. I got 5 of them a month or 2 ago. So I'm saving that for a special occasion. So I just ordered some more Ave Marias. I got 2 boxes of 20 coming, so that ought to keep me going for a while. Last Sunday I got pretty drunk. Actually, yeah, I was under the weather, no doubt, but it wasn't really bad, but the guy at the liquor store, when I had to get some more of my Captain Morgan spiced rum, and I get the good stuff. I get the 100 proof, and the guy says, "Oh, you get the hard stuff, don't you?" I said, "Oh yeah." He asked me, he says, "Well, what do you usually mix it with?" And I said, "Usually, Diet Pepsi, whatever I have." He says, "You know what you need to try?" He says, "You need to try root beer with it." So I got myself some root beer, and oh my God, is that good. I went through like 3 or 4 tall glasses of that. And when I put rum, I put probably a quarter to a third of the cup of rum. So it's strong, and I mean, I was feeling good. And usually my mother can tell when I'm really under the weather. She wasn't able to tell Sunday, so I wasn't too bad. But boy, did I enjoy that. I've been thinking of having more because usually I only have, with my diet and everything, I allow myself to drink on Sunday. But I've been thinking of having some more root beer and rum, but I'll try to be good. So, well, this has been a long video, so I'm going to go. Plus, it's 10 after 10. So I don't want to be out here yakking, and I don't think I'm keeping up the neighbors, but I want to be a little quiet. So I'll say good night. God bless you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.